What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and we have the second official transfer of Liverpool FC this summer. Welcome to Liverpool FC, Harvey Elliott. Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Harvey Elliott from Fulham, and that makes it 4 players in 4 years signed from relegated clubs after Xherdan Shaqiri, Wijnaldum and Andrew Robertson signed from relegated clubs. So I wish Harvey Elliott a similar success story, because those 3 players have been very successful at Liverpool. And the 16-year-old winger joins Liverpool after making 3 appearances already for Fulham last season. And Harvey Elliott became actually the youngest debutant in Premier League history when he featured against Wolves, aged 16 years old and 30 days in May. And the England Youth International will actually be part of the Liverpool squad, which are playing Napoli tonight. So I will be watching him eagerly and see how he does. So guys, if you are excited about this new transfer, leave a like. It just takes a second and it really helps me out and shows me that you guys enjoy these videos. And we will take an in-depth look at Harvey Elliott and what he could bring to Liverpool, and also we will talk about other Liverpool transfer news. So stay tuned and watch the video until the end. And Harvey Elliott posted a very classy message on Instagram after the transfer became official, and this is what he posted, and I quote, "I am so happy to be able to announce that I have signed for Liverpool FC." And by the way, just my comment, just a few years ago Harvey Elliott was posing as a Liverpool fan in front of Anfield, being a little kid, and the photos to that from 5 years ago to now, when he's actually posing with a Liverpool shirt, I think is terrific. And I really I'm a little bit envious, but I congratulate him, because can you imagine like being a 10-11-year-old kid just dreaming about one day playing for Liverpool, pulling on this famous red shirt, and just 5 years after that picture he is now officially a Liverpool player. What a journey he is on, and I wish him all the best, and I really hope that he wins many trophies at Liverpool. This is what Harvey Elliott said, and I quote, "To have joined the club that I supported as a boy is a dream come true for me and all of my family, and it's an incredible feeling to now officially be able to call myself a Red. I can't wait to get started, and it will be a truly special feeling to pull the famous red jersey on. I will work as hard as I possibly can for the club, and I feel Anfield is the perfect place for me to develop and progress as a player. Hashtag LFC, hashtag you will never walk alone." Oh my goodness, like this is just perfect. I mean, can you imagine? He joins Liverpool just like Trent Alexander-Arnold, being a boyhood Liverpool fan. It just doesn't get much better than this, and I honestly wish him to get as successful as Trent Alexander-Arnold, to become a first-team player in the next few years. I mean, this would be just another incredible journey. And I mean, Liverpool fans, including myself, just love players that have grown up being Liverpool fans, because they will put everything on the line for this club, and also they will probably work as hard or even harder than anybody else for Liverpool. And I think that Harvey Elliott, we will see him play for Liverpool in pre-season and also in the League Cup, and maybe in some smaller Premier League games. But I think this guy is mainly will be playing for the Liverpool youth teams. But you don't make your Premier League debut at 16 years old if you are not incredibly talented, and we now have 2 incredibly talented youngsters that Liverpool signed for peanuts, really. Van den Berg and Harvey Elliott, they would cost Liverpool about combined like maybe 7-8 million pounds. Harvey Elliott doesn't have a transfer fee right now, because a tribunal will decide how much Liverpool have to pay as compensation to Fulham. And we actually beat some of Europe's elite clubs for Harvey Elliott's signature. I can't stress this enough. This is such an exciting signing for Liverpool, because the way that Harvey Elliott plays, I think you can be reminded of players like Joaquin, who is playing for Real Betis, and as the saying goes, if you are good enough, you are old enough. It doesn't matter how young he is. If he's good enough, then he will be a very, very, very good signing for Liverpool. And let's look at Harvey Elliott and what he could bring to Liverpool. So Harvey Elliott is an attacker with a wonderfully gifted left foot. And like Gareth Bale, he has been exposed to first team football before his 17th birthday. And also, like Gareth Bale, the teenager appears to have the world at his feet. And Harvey Elliott made his debut for Fulham in the League Cup second round tie at Millwall last September, where he was just aged as just 15 years old and 173 days. I mean, to make your professional debut in a professional game at just 15 years old at the highest level of English football is just absolutely remarkable. It's almost like a miracle that he could do that. And he also is the Premier League's youngest ever debutant, as I said, where he played for Wolves, against Wolves for Fulham in May. The previous record was also held by a Fulham player, and that had stood for 12 years. And actually, Elliott had yet to complete his GCSEs when turning out at Molineux Stadium, or against Newcastle at Craven Cottage at Fulham's home stadium a week later. But he showed enough in those cameos to suggest that we will be seeing a lot more of him in the coming years. And those people who have watched Harvey Elliott with the Fulham's youth teams or for England's under-17 side say that he has the potential to go all the way to the very top of English and European football. And this is what Danny Murphy, who used to play for Liverpool and also for Fulham as well, had to say. He's a great dribbler. He's very sharp. He's got good feet, so he can dribble very well. Tom Kearney, the current Fulham skipper, has described Harvey Elliott as a sensation, and he has spoken of Elliott's frightening self-belief. He does some bits of magic that makes everyone say, wow, that's what Kearney added. And even though Harvey Elliott is predominantly left-sided, much of Elliott's football has been played on the right side, on the right flank, where he likes to cut inside to either shoot or pass, get assists. And one assist for Fulham under-23s away at Manchester United really stands out, where Harvey Elliott nips in field to steer a perfect slide rule pass behind a square defense into the path of the striker. And another clip which was shared by Fulham on their Twitter page showed him adjusting brilliantly to hook a left foot volley home from 18 yards against Birmingham. In both instances, the technique and the awareness really stands out. He's more mature than his age suggests. There is not many 15, 16-year-old players who already can say that they played in the Premier League multiple times. They played in the League Cup as well. And no wonder that Manchester City were keen to sign him. Chelsea and Arsenal also made inquiries, while on the continent in Europe, RB Leipzig, Paris Saint-Germain, and even Real Madrid were interested in this guy. I mean, you are not a very, very big talent unless clubs like these are interested in you. So I think it's a big coup for Liverpool to be able to sign this guy, and I'm so happy that we managed to pull it through. And I think Harvey Elliott had his sights set on Liverpool, but he might not have had a choice. If Liverpool weren't interested in him, he might have had to accept another club. But because Harvey Elliott is a Liverpool fan, a boyhood Liverpool fan, it was always a dream of his to play for Liverpool. There was really no question which club he will sign for after he learned that Liverpool were interested in his services. And Harvey Elliott's schoolboy terms at Fulham expired at the end of June. And even though Fulham were desperate to sign him and to retain him, they had long been resigned to the idea of losing him. Liverpool was and is Harvey Elliott's dream move. And even though he grew up in Chertsey, a few miles west of London. Elliott was raised as a Liverpool fan. His family is a Liverpool fan, and he started off his career at Queen's Park Rangers, and then he opted to sign for Fulham at 14 years old. And if you look through his social media, and bring up Elliott's old Twitter accounts, he was attending already an Anfield game in the 2013-14 campaign, but mind you, another picture shows him wearing the colors of Real Madrid. But I think any young fan, you could see them in multiple different football shirts. When you are a kid, you obviously want to wear all kinds of football shirts. And Liverpool won the race to sign Elliott, and Liverpool now must agree a compensation with Fulham, and if we can't settle on a price, then a tribunal will decide what compensation we should pay to Fulham, just like in the case of signing Dennings from Burnley. And sources have told some newspapers that the fee could be as much as £6.5 million. Liverpool were ordered to pay Burnley a similar amount for Dennings after his 2015 transfer, because this is how highly Harvey Elliott is rated among English football. And Harvey Elliott was in attendance when Liverpool began their pre-season campaign at Tranmere Rovers, so I pretty much knew back then that this deal was almost a done deal, and it was just a matter of time before Liverpool announced it as official. And the initial outgoings once the season begins perhaps will come from for Neil Critchley's under 23 side. That's where Harvey Elliott will most probably play, but of course he's still eligible to play for the under 18s as well if needed. The suspicion is though that he's well past that stage now, and Fulham were willing to make him a regular part of their senior squad in the Championship this season, and Elliott will back himself to play his way into Jurgen Klopp's eye-line before long. And former Fulham manager Slavisha Jokanovic, who gave Elliott his debut at Millwall, this is what he said about him. I don't know if I am using the wrong words in English, but he's arrogant and positive. This kid has the personality. He wants to show you he is a very good player, and it should be not too long before he gets the chance to do so at Liverpool. So I'm extremely excited about this transfer, but we all want the major first-team player to be signed as well. And at the moment there are a lot of different news sources saying that Lille have accepted 4 bids from 4 different clubs for Nicolas Pepe. At the moment Arsenal looks like they are the closest in negotiations for him, but we shall wait and see what Nicolas Pepe decides in the coming weeks. Or I think the future, his future will be decided next week when he comes back from holiday. And Jurgen Klopp actually on Liverpool spending said that we are not in fantasy land. We have to pay bills. We invested money in this team, and now it looks like we are not. And it's true that Man City have broken their transfer record for a second successive summer, buying a Spain midfielder Rodri from Atletico Madrid for £62 million. But Jurgen Klopp is confident that he has built a team that can compete for the highest honors this season. And this is what Jurgen Klopp said, and I quote, "I can't say anything about what other teams are doing. I don't know how they do it. We have to pay bills. Sorry, everybody has to pay bills. We have to pay bills. We invested money and a lot of it in this team, and now it looks like we are not. But we are not in this fantasy land where you just get whatever you want. You cannot do it constantly. It looks like there are 4 clubs in the world who can do it constantly: Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City and Paris Saint-Germain. Whatever they need, they do. You cannot compare that. That is the situation. It is not a criticism. I know how people will take it, that I am jealous or whatever. I am not at all jealous. There is no guarantee we won't draw with Leicester on a snowy pitch because we make 5 new signings. There will be average games, but that doesn't mean we need different players. It only means we need a team that is ready that day, and that is what we have to do. We have to make sure this year is not the end of Liverpool FC. Next year there will be another transfer window. This team is really, really good, and we have invested a lot in it. Now we have to work with that. Shall we sell 5 players to make space for 5 new ones? Send me a list and tell me who the ones you want to have out. They would send back a blank paper because they want to keep all and bring in the next ones. And Jurgen Klopp has a good point here, that the fans basically each year they just want to bring in players and make the squad stronger, and probably they want it in an unreasonable financial predicament, because if you think about it, like Liverpool only spent an incredible amount of money because we got incredible amounts of money for the likes of Philippe Coutinho and the fringe players that we sold, the players like Solanke, Jordan Ibe. We got very, very good money for them. Christian Benteke is another good example. Mamadou Sakho. We got like a combined £50 million for just, or even more, for just those 2 players. And Liverpool are not in a financial position to keep signing like £100 million players every summer. That's the reality. Even though Liverpool posted record profits, I still think that we could get away with signing 1 player for like 50-60 million pounds. But for example, Nicolas Pepe, the figures that I'm seeing, that Arsenal will pay 80 million euros for him up front, plus with the add-ons and the agent commissions and everything, Nicolas Pepe would cost about 100 million euros. That's like 90 million pounds or something like that. Liverpool just don't have the amount of money to compete with that. Right now, Liverpool cannot sign Nicolas Pepe for like 80 or 90 million pounds. That's just the reality. And if Arsenal are willing to take a big risk, paying him that much and paying Lille that much money, it's up to them. But they are not in the Champions League, so they probably have to risk a big investment like getting Nicolas Pepe in to get into the Champions League. But I'm not even convinced that with Nicolas Pepe Arsenal will qualify for the Champions League, because they still haven't signed a new defense. So they will be probably closer to the Liverpool side of 2013-14, where they score like 70 goals, but they concede 50 goals as well. So they will have a bonkers season. And Steven Warnock gave a very good interview about Liverpool. This is what he said. When you look at the team now, we have been in 2 Champions League finals in 2 seasons. It's not a fluke. There is a good team, there's a good manager in place. When we went through and we won it in 2005, back when I was playing, it was probably against the odds. There wasn't an expectancy to win it this year, but there was a feeling that they could win it. When you look at Jurgen's record in Europe, over 2 legs he's so dominant, and Anfield has become more and more of a fortress. People just don't enjoy coming to Anfield. I think that's one of the great things. There's a feeling that they can overcome anything. You always want that feeling of being a winner again. You always want to keep winning as much as you can, and it breeds a hunger within the squad to do well again. I think that's the most important thing. When you look at the best teams, they enjoy winning and they know how much it means to win. You often hear about a team winning the first one, the first big trophy, and getting that first one over the line, and it breeds confidence to go and win more. And I think this is a very, very good sentiment. Liverpool will want to win as many trophies this season as possible. And yes, we are in 7 competitions, which sounds like a lot, but you have to take it into account that 3 additional competitions will be a maximum of 4 games. The Community Shield final is just 1 game, the European Super Cup final is just 1 game, and then there are potentially 2 more games in December for the FIFA Club World Cup. And of course it will disrupt the season. We will have to probably postpone a couple of Premier League games, and there will be a lot of traveling to Qatar for the FIFA Club World Cup, traveling to Istanbul for the European Super Cup final. But this is what you want as a Liverpool player, as a Liverpool manager, as a Liverpool fan. You want to play as many games as possible because this means that you are successful. You are going far in competitions, you are winning trophies, and winning the Champions League qualifies you for the European Super Cup final, for the Club World Cup final. And Liverpool never won the Club World Cup before. So I really want Liverpool to take that competition seriously and to go there with a strong team and to try to win it, because then you will also have a golden badge saying that you are the champions of the world until the end of 2020, so for one whole year, and that would be just brilliant. It would look so good on a Liverpool kit, and I really want Liverpool to win as many trophies as possible this season. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.